Hello student, how are you? I hope that you will be fine. I am Aditya Vikram Rai from LPM Public School and this school situated in Gola Bazar. Today our topic is decimals and today we have to learn about decimals and many more questions related to decimals. So let's start to solve this question. Firstly, you know that what is decimal? You can say that decimal is other form of fraction. You can say that decimal is other part of fraction. And now firstly we have to understood what is decimal and how we can convert decimal to fraction and fraction to decimal. Okay, and many more topic we have to learn today. So let's start. Firstly we have to know what is decimal number and what is the place value will be for it. Okay, now listen carefully everyone. Firstly, we have to know that what are decimal number. There is a number 549.233. 549.233. Firstly, we have to know that is we can say 549.233. Firstly, we have to learn how we can find a place value of this digits. So let's start. Firstly, we can say that this part is called whole part. This part is called whole part and this part is called decimal part. This part is called decimal part. After the decimal, the whole part is called decimal part, and after the decimal, before the decimal, the part is called whole part. In other words, you can say that in left side of decimal is whole part and in right side of decimal is decimal part. So let's start now. This place value is ones. This place value is ones and this place value is tens. And this number place value is hundreds. Okay, and now we have to consider decimal part. That is called tenth part. That is called tenth part, and a decimal value for it. Tenth part is 2 part from 10. That is tenth part, and the place value of this number is 1 upon 10. And in other words, you can say that there will be 2 upon 10, and in other words, you can say that will be 0.2. Is it clear? And now this part is called hundredth part. This part is called hundredth part, and we have to write it 3 upon 100, and this part we can also write it 0.0. And now we have to consider this part, and this part is called thousand part. This part is called thousand part, and that is the place value 3 upon 1000. And that is 0.003. And now we can in words. Firstly we have to write this number in words. How we can write this number in words? Listen here. Then we have to write 549 we can say decimal or point. We can say also decimal 233. What we have to call? We have to call it 549.233. Okay, in words you have to call 549.233. Okay, and now we have to write expanded form. And in expanded form we have to write it in two such types, that is decimal expansion. First is decimal expansion and second is fractional expansion. That is decimal expansion and second is fractional expansion. How we can expand it? Listen carefully. When we write decimal expansion, that will be 500 plus 40 plus 9, because the place value of 5 is 100 and the place value of 4 is 10 and a place value of 9 is 1. And now for decimal part here will be, that will be 0.2. What will be? 0.2, 0.03 and 0.003. Decimal expansion will be, decimal expansion of this number will be 500 plus 40 plus 9 plus 0.2 plus 0.03 and plus 0.003. And now fractional expansion. What will be fractional expansion for this number? That is 500 plus 40 plus 9 plus 2 upon 10 plus 3 upon 100 plus 3 upon 1000. That will be fractional expansion for this number. And now we have to learn how we can convert decimal to fraction and fraction to decimal. And now we have to learn how we can change a fraction to decimal. How we can change a fraction to decimal. How we can change a fraction to decimal. Listen here. How we can change fraction to decimal. There is a fraction 13 upon 10. How we can change it in decimal? Listen carefully. Firstly, what we have to do? We have to do here. Let's suppose firstly we have to suppose there is a decimal before 3. And now you know that there is a, firstly we have to count the number of zeros and there is 1 0. So we have to put the decimal after 1 digit and that will be 1.3. What I have said, firstly we have to count the number of zeros and we have to put the decimal. There are digit number of zeros and we have to place that as like there is 10, so we have to place decimal before 1 digit. Okay, and now the next example is 54 upon 100. You can show that you can suppose that there is a decimal and now there is number of zeros. The zeros are 2, so we have to place the decimal before 2 places, that is 0.54. We have to place the decimal before 2 digits because here the number of zeros is 2. And now the next example is 5 upon 1000 and that will be 0.005 because firstly we have to count the number of zeros and now we have to place the decimal before 3 digits because there are 3 zeros, so we have to place the decimal before 3 digits. And now if there are no digits, we have to use extra zeros. If there are no digits to increase, so we can add extra zero in this number. And now 18 whole 32 upon 1000. That will be whole and that is 18 point and 32 upon 100. 1000 will be 0.32. That will be 0.32. Next example is 15 whole 3 upon 100 and that will be 15.03. And now that is the next topic is decimal to fraction. How we can change the decimal to fraction? Listen carefully. How we can change the decimal to fraction? We know that there is a decimal number 5.6. How we can change it into fraction? You know that is 5.6. The standard rule is firstly we have to multiply the 10 in both the numerator and the denominator. And when you multiply it, that will be 56. That will be 56 and that will be 110. Okay, that will be 56 and that is 10. From trick you can solve it. 3.22. That will be 3.22. Firstly we have to write it 322. On the place of decimal we have to put 1. On the place of decimal we have to put the 1 and if there are 2 digits then we have to place 2 zeros. Okay, and the next question from trick, that will be 5.678. We can solve it by trick, that will be 5, 6, 7, 8, and we have to on the place of decimal we have to put 1, and there are 3 digits after decimal, so we have to put here 3 zeros. Okay, and now 3.02, that will be 302 upon 100, and 5.2, that will be 52 upon 10. Okay, and now we have to learn how. And now thank you for watching the video. We have to meet with new topic with new video. Thank you.